Hello and welcome and namaste from New Delhi. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Gautam Roy. Coming up over the next 1 hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend the 15th India-Japan Annual Summit in Tokyo. Defence, trade, investment and tech cooperation in semiconductors, AI and much more is on the agenda. Prime Minister Modi terms India the most promising investment destination at the India-Japan Joint Economic Forum meet in Tokyo. Added that the world is not just watching India, it is counting on India. He also says Japan's excellence and India's scale can create a perfect partnership, stressing that Japanese technology and Indian talent can come together to lead the tech revolution of the century. And in his first statement since the US imposed 50% tariffs on India, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal says the nation is taking steps to diversify exports and boost domestic demand to support exporters hit by unilateral action. And in sports, Hockey Men's Asia Cup 2025 to kick-start this afternoon in Bihar. India eyes its continental crown. Prime Minister Modi extends best wishes. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has begun his two-day Japan visit with attending the India-Japan Economic Forum in Tokyo. Speaking at the forum, Prime Minister Modi explained the ties with Japan, which are strategic, powered by economic logic, and that India is the springboard for Japanese businesses in the global south.
India and Japan's partnership is strategic and smart, powered by economic logic. We have turned shared interest into shared prosperity. India is the springboard for Japanese businesses to the global south. Together, we will shape the Asian century for stability.
Highlighting changes in defence and technology sector, the Prime Minister said that Japan is a tech powerhouse and India is a talent powerhouse.
जापान टेक पावरहाउस है और भारत एक टैलेंट पावर हाउस है। भारत ने एआई, सेमीकंडक्टर, क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग, बायोटेक और स्पेस में बोल्ड और एम्बिशियस इनिशिएटिव्स लिए हैं। जापान की टेक्नोलॉजी और भारत का टैलेंट मिलकर इस सदी के टेक रिवॉल्यूशन का नेतृत्व कर सकते हैं।
The Prime Minister also said that together India and Japan can replicate the magic that was created in the auto sector, and this can be done in the case of batteries, robotics, semiconductors, shipbuilding and nuclear energy as well.
भारत तेजी से 2030 तक 500 गीगावाट रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी के लक्ष्य की ओर अग्रसर है। हमने 2047 तक 100 गीगावाट न्यूक्लियर पावर का भी लक्ष्य रखा है। सोलर सेल्स हो या फिर ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन, साझेदारी की अपार संभावनाएं हैं। भारत और जापान के बीच जॉइंट क्रेडिट मैकेनिज्म पर समझौता हुआ है। इसका लाभ उठाकर क्लीन और ग्रीन फ्यूचर के निर्माण में सहयोग किया जा सकता है.
Let me now take you across live to Tokyo. DD India's Shubhendu Ghosh is on the ground tracking all the developments related to the PM's visit. Well, good afternoon to you, Shubhendu. Would you say that quite a few indications have already been given by the two Prime Ministers at the Joint Economic Forum meeting as to the direction in which India and Japan ties are headed with the bilateral summit later in the day today?
Absolutely, Gautam. Good evening from Tokyo, given the 3.5 hours time difference between the two capitals. Yes, it's an ambitious and expansive vision of India-Japan partnership that has been laid forward by the two leaders, Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Ishiba, at the economic meet. They talk about the partnership between the technology powerhouse and the talent powerhouse and the manner in which the achievements were made in the past decades in the automobile sector. Those can be replicated. And now the vision is expansive. We're talking about emerging technologies such as semiconductors, AI, nuclear energy, clean energy. So in that sense, it's a wider worldview that they're looking at when they talk about the cooperation in the coming decade. Prime Minister also mentioned about skilled workforce, a workforce that is tailor-made for Japan, addressing perhaps the concerns that Japan and India both have vis-a-vis their demographic realities. In that sense, the complementarities between India and Japan, their potential is being proposed to be harnessed by both the leaders. Now, what happens next is interesting because now these two leaders will engage again at the 15th India-Japan Annual Summit. What we saw in the afternoon was putting forth the vision of cooperation. But what are going to be the tangible manner in which that will come about? Will there be a mega investment announcement? Will the partnership be taken forward in areas where, in a more tangible manner, we'll get to learn about areas of cooperation? That we are hoping we'll get to learn when the two leaders meet again in a short while from now this evening for the annual summit.
Yes, some kind of a joint credit mechanism was already mentioned by Prime Minister Modi. But what do you think have been the other highlights of the PM's Japan visit so far, and what more lies in store?
I think we also have to look at the manner in which this economic summit and their address was received by the business leaders. The leaders from the business community, entrepreneurial community from both India and Japan had gathered to listen to the leaders. Their expectations were in line with what was spoken by the leaders, particularly utilizing the demographic advantage that India has, utilizing the technology prowess that Japan brings to the table. In that sense, there appears to be great resonance in the political leadership and the business leadership of these countries. And Prime Minister Ishiba, while concluding his address, did say that what we are presenting is a vision, but the reality has to be put in place by these business leaders. So in that sense, there's this resonance between the two sides. It's something that will be a highlight of the day. Of course, earlier Prime Minister also engaged with the Indian diaspora, and we saw elements of great degree of comfort, warmth between the peoples of two cultures. Japanese artists performing Indian art forms. They're not just wonderful to look at, but I think they hide in them a deeper meaning of convergence of values, convergence of worldview, and convergence of a common idea of the future.
Right. Shubhendu, thanks a lot for joining us from Tokyo for the moment. Now, during his visit, Prime Minister Modi will attend the 15th India-Japan Annual Summit, as I mentioned that, and where he will also meet Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba. Trade, investment, defense and science and technology will be the key agendas during the PM's visit to Japan. He will also meet Japanese industrialists. He's already done that, and he has been meeting political leadership as well in Tokyo. Prime Minister Modi also received a rousing reception with a cultural performance from basically Japanese performers, really, who were dressed in traditional Indian clothing. You can see some of those pictures there. This is a group of people who are wearing traditional Rajasthani clothing.
जपानिलेके स्वागतम.
Now a glimpse of southern part of India and ancient Indian tradition as well through the recitation of the Gayatri Mantra.
Lots of love from Chennai.
भारत माता की जय मोदी जी. भारत माता की
And the Indian diaspora also shared its experience on meeting Prime Minister Modi in Tokyo. Listen in.
It was a very exciting meeting, and I could talk to him, I could shake a hand with him, and I am considering myself very fortunate.
The way he's connecting people, it's amazing. I'm very inspired by his personality.
It was very nice meeting the Prime Minister Modi today, and it's a very important time between India and Japan.
It's a lifetime moment. It's like a dream come true. I'm just have a goosebumps when see Modi ji in front of me. It's really, really very good moment of my life.
Wonderful, marvelous, and very exhilarating.
It felt very good to meet Modi ji in Japan.
It felt good to meet him, and I got his Ashirwad also. And the India and Japan's relationship are really good. I hope it continues. Jai Hind.
India and Japan have historically enjoyed very great diplomatic and cultural relations, and Modi ji is the epitome of all that. And I think he's going to take India to even greater heights on the global platform. We are very honored to have met him and gotten his Ashirwad today. Jai Hind.
And still to come on DD India News Hour. We get to the latest from rain-affected Uttarakhand, where life in the hilly region has been severely impacted due to flooding and landslides. The Scope Eminence Awards were organized in New Delhi to recognize the contributions of public sector enterprises. President Murmu awarded them.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium, We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, Prime Minister Modi has indicated he would improve defense cooperation with Japan as well. In a recent written interview with the Japanese newspaper, the Yomiuri Shimbun, ahead of his visit to Japan, the Prime Minister said that Japan-India Joint Declaration on Security Cooperation will advance our ambition for shaping a secure and stable Indo-Pacific for generations to come. The document is to be revised during the PM's visit to Japan. The revised draft of the joint declaration, originally signed in 2008, incorporates new areas of cooperation such as economic security and defense industry collaboration. Japan and India plan to exchange the revised document during a meeting on Friday between Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba and Modi. Prime Minister Modi also said that collaboration in the defense sector has been a strong success story for India and Japan. He further said, together with political trust and natural complementarities, both India and Japan can design and produce next-generation defense platforms, not just for ourselves, but also for the world. As for the Quad Alliance, comprising Japan, India, the United States and Australia, Prime Minister Modi noted how it has expanded to cover maritime security, disaster relief and space cooperation. Prime Minister Modi further wrote, by combining India's scale and capabilities with Japan's advanced technologies, we can build a resilient and trusted semiconductor value chain. He also stressed that cooperation in the sector will become a major pillar of the India-Japan partnership. PM Modi also described a high-speed rail project in India that will adapt Japan's Shinkansen system as a flagship project between India and Japan. The rail project will connect the commercial hub of Mumbai and the industrial city of Ahmedabad. The PM also welcomed the active participation by Japanese companies to have a 7,000-kilometer long network of high-speed rail in India. As I mentioned, Prime Minister Modi is on a two-day visit to Japan. A lot of excitement has been seen among Japanese nationals who dressed up in Rajasthani attire and welcomed Prime Minister Modi in a traditional way. They also sang a bhajan in front of the PM. Listen in.
One of the highlights of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's special welcome in Tokyo was the manner in which Japanese and Indian cultures came together. I have with me these lovely Japanese ladies, beautifully dressed in Rajasthani attire. Prime Minister had a special interaction with them. Let's learn from them. How was their experience in particular? Ma'am, what was your experience like? What happened in the interaction?
Yeah, I was very nervous, but he was very gentle and he gave us very warm word. So I was very happy and very honored to be here.
मुझे भी बहुत नार्वस थी, पर मोदी जी ने कहा था कि आप गाना गा सकते हैं, तो मैंने कहा था कि हाँ जी.
Can you sing a few lines?
बारी जाओ रे बलिहारी जाओ रे मारे सतगुरु आंगने आया रे मेवारी जाओ रे.
Arikado, thank you very much for speaking with DD India. The beautiful cultural amalgamation between India and Japan as Prime Minister Narendra Modi begins his historic visit of Japan, of Tokyo and Sendai. With camera person Ankur, Shubhendu Ghosh for DD India.
India and Japan also share civilizational ties. And as cultures connect, how does it influence our food preferences? Well, Shubhendu Ghosh has visited an Indian restaurant in Tokyo to find out more.
Food has the magical power to transcend boundaries. Today we are at a popular Indian restaurant in Tokyo to find out how Indian delicacies are making their way into the hearts of the Japanese. This is Nirvanam, an important stop for lovers of Indian food in Tokyo, starting in 2005 as the first authentic South Indian restaurant in Japan, bringing in the diverse flavors of India to Japanese and international audiences.
Japanese, they're very foodie people. They like all the food, especially they want to try the different kind of food and especially curries. But they need less spicy curries. And we introduced lots of South Indian food too. The Japanese people, they like.
Known for its authentic taste, traditional recipes and warm hospitality, Nirvanam has introduced countless Japanese customers to the diversity of Indian cuisine.
I like Indian foods for about 40 years. When I came to this restaurant, I found this restaurant very, very good. I like dal in general. And the most favorite dish is sambar. Yeah, sambar and sambar wada.
Spicy soup, spice curry. Yes, it's fresh for us. Because Japan is only soup, miso soup or soba or udon, so many spices is fresh for us. And this restaurant, the people is so fun and happy, so it's very interesting.
Beyond food, Nirvanam has played an important role as a cultural bridge between the peoples of India and Japan. With camera person Shailendra Chauhan, Shubhendu Ghosh, DD India, Tokyo.
Now, to recognize the contributions of public sector enterprises towards a nation's growth, the Scope Eminence Awards were organized at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi on Friday. The awards were conferred by the President of India, Draupadi Murmu, in the presence of Minister of State for Finance, along with eminent policymakers, regulators and business leaders associated with Scope. PSEs are set to play an even more crucial role in realizing the vision of Viksit Bharat at 2047, in line with initiatives such as Make in India and the spirit of Vocal for Local. The current edition of these awards recognizes performance and contribution for the year 2022-23. While commending the contribution of PSEs to India's development journey, the President highlighted their significant role in Operation Sindoor as well. She further remarked that today, women are not merely waiting for opportunities, they are creating and leading them.
रेवेन्यू और प्रॉफिट के महत्वपूर्ण फाइनेंशियल पैरामीटर्स पर पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस ने निरंतर प्रगति की है। आंकड़े से ये स्पष्ट होती है कि 3/4 से अधिक सेंट्रल पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस प्रॉफिट मेकिंग है। पिछले 10 वर्षों के दौरान पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस का सेंटर एक्सचेकर को
And if we take you back to Tokyo, to Prime Minister Modi's visit there, Prime Minister has met with the Speaker of Japan's House of Representatives, Fukushiro Nukaga, as well. He's been meeting other political leaders too during the course of his visit. The first day itself right now, he's already met Yoshihide Suga, who's chairperson of the Japan-India Association and former Japanese Prime Minister. He has also met another former Japanese Prime Minister, Fumio Kishida. Now, this is him meeting with the Speaker of the Japan House of Representatives, Fukushiro Nukaga. So the Japanese speaker there, accompanied by a delegation as well. As I mentioned, Japanese dignitaries have been calling on Prime Minister Modi, who's on a two-day visit to Japan. He has already met Yoshihide Suga, who's chairperson Japan-India Association and former Japanese Prime Minister. And apart from this particular former Prime Minister, the PM also met former Japan Prime Minister Fumio Kishida during his visit to that nation, the land of the rising sun, in Tokyo. India is taking steps to diversify its exports and boost domestic demand to support exporters hit by unilateral action taken by our country. India's Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal has said that India is working on dedicated outreach programs in 40 countries, including the UK, UAE, Russia, Japan and South Korea, to push textile exports.
We need to secure our supply chains for potential disruptions which seem to be growing by the day. We need to build for export markets so that we become providers of scale and go across the world, create at high production capacities which will help our products to be competitive. We need to truly look at the entire ecosystem, from patient to doctor or hospital, and use newer technologies, possibly even artificial intelligence, to see how we can focus our energies on preventive healthcare, wellness, and reduce the nation's dependencies on other countries.
Now, these are the first comments made by India's Trade Minister ever since the US brought into force 50% tariffs against India, doubling the 25% to 50% in fact for importing Russian oil. And still to come on DD India News Hour. The US approves a potential sale of long-range cruise missiles to Ukraine for an estimated $825 million after Russia's blitz on Kyiv. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Gautam Roy, and before we go any further, another look at our top stories. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend the 15th India-Japan Annual Summit in Tokyo. Defence, trade, investment and tech cooperation in semiconductors, AI and more on the agenda. The PM terms India the most promising investment destination at the India-Japan Joint Economic Forum meet in Tokyo. Says that the world is not just watching India, it is counting on India. The PM also says Japan's excellence and India's scale can create a perfect partnership, stressing that Japanese technology and Indian talent can together lead the tech revolution of the century. In his first statement since the US imposed 50% tariffs on India, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal says the nation is taking steps to diversify exports and boost domestic demand to support exporters hit by unilateral action. And in sports, hockey wins Asia Cup 2025 to kickstart in Bihar today. India eyes its continental crown. Prime Minister Modi extends best wishes. Now let's get to some developments related to the weather. Well, several parts of Delhi witnessed intense rainfall on Friday, leading to waterlogging and traffic disruptions across the city. Areas from Krishnanagar to Gandhinagar reported severe water accumulation affecting daily commuters and local businesses. The sudden showers also caused delays in public transport and slowed vehicular movement in central and eastern parts of the nation's capital. Heavy rainfall also continues to wreak havoc across Uttarakhand, severely impacting life in the hilly region. Many districts including Dehradun, Nainital, Mussoorie, Rudraprayag and Chamoli have witnessed heavy downpours, triggering landslides and rising river levels. Bageshwar recorded the highest rainfall in the state, contributing to a sharp rise in the Saryu and Gomti rivers. Meanwhile, in Rudraprayag district, the Mandakini river has surged past the danger mark, triggering widespread concerns. Schools in multiple districts have been closed and rescue operations have been underway in areas affected by flash floods and landslides. The Met Department has issued a yellow alert for multiple districts with warning of moderate to heavy rainfall for key areas including Dehradun, Nainital, Haridwar, Rudraprayag, Chamoli, Tehri, Almora and Pithoragarh. And Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami has given necessary instructions to senior officials, disaster secretary and disaster magistrates at his official residence in the morning. He instructed for relief and rescue operations on the heavy rains in Rudraprayag, Chamoli and other districts. The northern Indian state of Himachal Pradesh is still recovering from the heavy rains that hit many parts of the state between the 23rd and the 25th of this month. The damage has made recovery efforts very difficult for both locals and the administration. For the past 5 days, the district has remained completely cut off from the rest of the state. All major access roads have collapsed, communication networks are down, and there is no electricity. Amid this chaos, the sacred Mani Mahesh Yatra has been severely impacted. Approximately 7,000 to 8,000 pilgrims are stranded at various points along the Yatra route. Deputy Commissioner of Chamba has assured the public that all pilgrims are safe. Arrangements for food, shelter and essential services are in place and evacuation operations are being carried out with urgency. Following severe heavy rainfall and subsequent river swelling that washed away a portion of the fourth bridge over the river Tavi in Jammu, the Indian Army has commenced construction of a Bailey Bridge as a temporary measure to restore connectivity. Live images captured the bridge's collapse, which took place after a massive downpour and a cloudburst in the region, leading to floods and the bridge's devastating structural failure. This will be the fourth bridge on the Tavi aimed at restoring connectivity and easing local travel. The swift response by the Army has brought relief to residents, ensuring faster movement and preventing further disruption in the flood-affected area. The Indian Army has also begun rapid reconstruction of the Bhagwati Nagar 4th bridge in Jammu, which was severely damaged on one side following recent heavy rains. The collapse had forced thousands of residents to reroute through the third bridge, causing daily disruptions and logistical challenges. The bridge, a vital artery for nearly 35,000 commuters daily, connects key residential and commercial zones. The reconstruction is expected to restore not only daily convenience for Jammu's residents but also improve access for people travelling from neighbouring districts. In international news, the US Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook has filed a lawsuit on Thursday to challenge Donald Trump's move to fire her as the president intensified pressure on the independent central bank. Trump had published a letter on his Truth Social platform Monday evening saying that he was removing Cook from her role and citing accusations of false statements on her mortgage agreements. Cook has sought a decision to confirm her status as a Fed governor, allowing her to continue in her role. She's also sought an outcome safeguarding Fed officials' congressionally mandated independence. Cook on Thursday also asked for a temporary restraining order, declaring that Trump's attempt to fire her is unlawful and preventing the Fed from removing her for now. A hearing on the motion has been set for Friday morning. Again in the US, senior CDC vaccine research and public health leaders who resigned in protest have told hundreds of supporters across the street from the campus on Thursday that the Trump administration needs to get politics out of public health. The agency is reeling from the firing of CDC chief Susan Monares, but Monares who was confirmed as CDC chief just a month ago, has refused to be removed. 4 senior leaders then resigned in protest, citing the alleged spread of misinformation under the Trump administration and political interference in their work. The US CDC, departing senior officials, left the agency due to changes to its vaccine advisory board and other vaccine policies. And US Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has said on Thursday that there was a lot of trouble at the CDC, and a day after CDC Director Susan Monares was fired, Kennedy has made sweeping changes to the nation's vaccine policies, including firing all members of the CDC's expert vaccine advisory panel, the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, in June. A close associate of Monares said the director had resisted changes to vaccine policy advanced by Kennedy that she believed contradicted scientific evidence and could prove to be illegal before being fired on Wednesday. Kennedy replaced them with hard-picked advisors, including several like-minded anti-vaccine activists.
There's a lot of trouble at CDC, and it's going to require getting rid of some people over the long term in order for us to change the institutional culture and bring back pride and self-esteem and make that agency the stellar agency that it's always been. I'm very confident in the political staff that we have down there now that they're going to be able to accomplish that and ensure the competent functionality of that agency.
Now, the White House has said that US President Donald Trump is not happy with Russian strike on Ukrainian capital Kyiv. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, in a press briefing, said that Trump was unhappy but not surprised by the deadly strikes on Kyiv.
He was not happy about this news, but he was also not surprised. These are two countries that have been at war for a very long time. Russia launched this attack on Kyiv, and likewise, Ukraine recently dealt a blow to Russia's oil refineries. They have taken out, as a matter of fact, 20% of Russia's oil refinery capacity over the course of their attacks throughout the month of August. So the president is continuing to watch this intently, and this killing, unfortunately, will continue as long as the war continues, which is why the president wants it to end. And that's why he's worked harder than anyone to end this war.
And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has urged Western allies on Thursday to send a strong joint signal to Russian President Vladimir Putin after over 20 people were killed in one of the deadliest attacks on Kyiv since 2022. Zelensky said Europe must clearly define security guarantees. Zelensky, in a virtual meeting with Polish President Karol Nawrocki and the leaders of Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania and Denmark, said that it was important to produce a clear definition of security guarantees for Ukraine as part of a plan to secure a peace settlement with Russia. He said Ukraine needs a solid basis for security guarantees that US President Donald Trump has agreed to and that have been under discussion for a week. Zelensky further said Ukraine believed Kremlin leader Vladimir Putin was still interested only in continuing the conflict. The US State Department has approved a potential sale of air-launched cruise missiles and related equipment to Ukraine for an estimated $825 million. The potential sale of 3,350 extended-range attack munition missiles includes GPS guidance kits and electronic warfare defenses for the weapons. The package also includes support equipment, mission planning software, spares and technical support. Kyiv will make the purchase with funding from Denmark and the Netherlands, as well as Norway, and a loan guarantee from the United States. The proposed sale will improve Ukraine's capability to meet current and future threats by further equipping it to conduct self-defense and regional security missions. Meanwhile, Britain's foreign minister said on Thursday that he had summoned the Russian ambassador to the UK after Russia pounded Ukraine with missiles and drones overnight, killing several people and damaging buildings, including the British Council in Kyiv. UK Foreign Minister David Lammy, in a social media post, informed about summoning Rajasthan's envoy. He further said that the killing and destruction must stop. Britain, France and Germany on Thursday launched a 30-day process to reimpose UN sanctions on Iran over its disputed nuclear program. Iran has accused the 3 European powers of harming diplomacy and has vowed that Tehran would not bow to pressure over the move by the E3 to launch the so-called snapback mechanism. The three powers feared they would otherwise lose the prerogative in mid-October to restore sanctions on Tehran that were lifted under the 2015 nuclear accord with world powers. Iran and the E3 have held several rounds of talks since Israel and the US bombed its nuclear installations in mid-June. But the E3 deemed that talks in Geneva on Tuesday did not yield sufficient signals of readiness for a new deal from Iran. The E3 acted on Thursday over accusations that Iran violated the 2015 deal that aimed to prevent it from developing nuclear weapons facilities. The E3, along with Russia, China and the United States, were party to that accord. Meanwhile, the United Nations on Thursday called on Iran and major powers to seize the momentum to strike a nuclear deal. Spokesperson of Secretary General Antonio Guterres, Stefan Dujarric, said that the UN chief urged the Security Council and participants of the Iran nuclear deal to continue negotiations to find a diplomatic solution that ensures peaceful nature of Iranian nuclear program and brings about economic change or economic benefits to the people of Iran. He emphasized the limited time frame for progress, noting that in the next 30 days there will be a window of opportunity to avoid any further escalation and find a way forward that serves peace. The United Nations Security Council on Thursday unanimously extended for a final time a long-running peacekeeping mission in Lebanon until the end of 2026. Then the operation will begin a year-long orderly and safe drawdown and withdrawal. UN Interim Force in Lebanon, UNIFIL, was established in 1978 that patrols Lebanon's southern border with Israel. The 15-member council unanimously adopted a French draft resolution after a compromise was reached with the United States, a veto-wielding council member. This will be the last time the United States will appear as an extension of UNIFIL, saying that acting U.S. ambassador to the U.S. Dorothy Scheer, UNIFIL's mandate was expanded in 2006 to allow peacekeepers to help the Lebanese army keep parts of the south free of weapons or armed personnel other than those of the Lebanese state. And still to come in this edition of DD India News Hour. The White House says Intel's deal with President Donald Trump to give the U.S. government a 10% stake in the struggling chip maker is still under discussion. And in the U.S. Open, Jannik Sinner has marched into the third round.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, the US will begin implementing new tariffs on small packages from around the world starting today, ending a loophole that has allowed billions of dollars of goods to enter the country duty-free. Donald Trump's administration is abolishing a rule on Friday that allows packages valued at $800 or below to enter the United States free of duty. Instead, packages will either be subject to the tariff level applicable to their country of origin or face a specific duty ranging from $80 to $200 per item. Postal services, including in France, Germany, Italy, India, Australia and Japan, earlier said most US-bound packages would no longer be accepted. On Tuesday, the United Nations' Universal Postal Union said 25 member countries' postal operators had suspended outbound postal services to the country. Now, White House has said the deal that struggling chipmaker Intel struck with President Donald Trump to give the US government a 10% stake in the company is still under discussion. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told reporters the deal was a creative solution proposed by Trump that the Department of Commerce was putting into action.
The Intel deal is still being ironed out by the Department of Commerce. The T's are still being crossed, the I's are still being dotted. It's very much still under discussion. But the president's thinking, I can share with you, is certainly to ensure that the United States government is making our country wealthy again and is benefiting from some of these deals. And it's a creative solution.
Let's now get you some sporting updates. Well, India is celebrating National Sports Day 2025 with grandeur and enthusiasm today. From paying tribute to hockey wizard Major Dhyan Chand to unveiling world-class sports infrastructure, the day showcased the nation's commitment to nurturing champions of tomorrow. On this occasion, Union Sports Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia joined athletes and youth in reaffirming India's commitment to a stronger sporting future.
New Delhi witnessed a grand celebration of National Sports Day 2025, marked with tributes, sporting events and infrastructural boosts for athletes. The day began at the National Stadium, where Union Sports Minister Mansukh Mandavia paid floral tribute to hockey wizard Major Dhyan Chand, in whose honor the day is celebrated. Later, the spotlight shifted to Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, which hosted the central celebrations. The event was graced by eminent athletes including Deven Jhajaria, अंजू बॉबी जॉर्ज, सुमित अंतिल एंड प्रवीण कुमार।
मोदी जी ने फिर से देश में एक स्पोर्ट्स स्पिरिट डेवलप हो, हमारी विरासत से प्रेरणा लेकर देश को एक अग्रिम तबक्के में स्पोर्ट्स सेक्टर में ले जाने के लिए देश में खेलो इंडिया मुहिम चलाई, देश में फिट इंडिया मुहिम चलाई, देश में बेस्ट स्पोर्ट्स इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलप हो, इस दिशा में कार्य चालू करा। देश में एलिट एथलीट के लिए टारगेटेड ओलंपिक पोडियम स्कीम चालू करी। दोस्तों, स्पोर्ट्स सेक्टर में रिफॉर्म करते हुए देश में एक बेस्ट स्पोर्ट्स पॉलिसी यानी कि खेलो भारत नीति लास्ट महीने में घोषित करी गई और चौथा रिफॉर्म के रूप में आपने अभी लास्ट पार्लियामेंट सेशन में स्पोर्ट्स गवर्नेंस बिल पारित करके देश को आने वाले 10 साल में दुनिया के 1 से 10वें क्रम में एक स्पोर्टिंग नेशन के रूप में देखने के लिए अपना संकल्प को सिद्ध करने की दिशा में कार्य करा।
On this occasion, Sports Minister inaugurated a newly installed Mondo track at the stadium. Known as the official surface of the Olympics and other major events, Mondo track is designed to enhance athlete performance and reduce injury risk.
I look at this track as a fantastic investment that India has made in their athletes, not just the athletes of this generation, but the athletes who will be inspired in the next generation to see the performances that happen next month.
Adding to the significance of the day, Sports Minister also met 5 houses of the Sports Authority of India, each named after veteran athletes as a tribute to their legacy. Various sporting events and activities were organized at the JLN Stadium to honor Major Dhyan Chand's unmatched contribution to Indian sports. Sports Minister himself participated in the sporting events organized by Sports Authority of India to create awareness about fitness and sport. National Sports Day is not just a tribute to a sporting legend, but also a reflection of India's growing commitment to building a stronger sporting ecosystem. Narayan Singh's report for DD India, Delhi.
And on National Sports Day, Prime Minister Modi posted on X, and I quote, "Greetings on National Sports Day. Today we pay homage to Major Dhyan Chand ji. It is an occasion to compliment all those passionate about sports and those who have played for India. Our government is committed to supporting sports and ensuring more youth are able to play and shine." Unquote. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath also participated in National Sports Day celebrations on Friday to commemorate the birth anniversary of hockey legend Major Dhyan Chand. The CM presented awards and prizes to medal winners, recognizing their dedication and achievements in national and international competitions. The Indian men's hockey team will begin their campaign against China at the Asia Cup in Rajgir town on Friday. India are drawn in Pool A alongside China, Japan and Kazakhstan. India will look to reclaim the continental crown and also secure direct qualification for the 2026 FIH Hockey World Cup. The Men's Asia Cup has been one of the most prestigious events in Asian hockey, with defending champions South Korea being the most successful team with 5 titles, while India runs second with 3. In the last edition, India had finished third. Now talk about tennis. Reigning men's champion Yannick Sinner charged into the third round of the US Open as women's title favourite Iga Swiatek toiled before overcoming her opponent. Sinner beat Australia's Alexei Papirin 6-3, 6-2, 6-2 to take his Grand Slam winning streak on hard course to 23 matches. The Italian top seed has made a convincing start in his bid to become the first man to reclaim US Open title since Roger Federer won 5 in a row from 2004 to 2008. Karen Khachanov became the biggest casualty so far in the men's draw as the Russian blew a 2-set lead and lost 2-6, 6-7, 6-4, 7-5, 7-6 to Poland's Kamil Maśrak. Swiatek fended off the Netherlands' Susan Lammens 6-1, 4-6, 6-4 to reach the third round. World number 2 Swiatek looked to be cruising as she led by a set and a break, but stumbled before eventually seeing off Lammens. She will now play Russian Anna Kalinskaya for the spot in the last 16. And that's all we have for this edition of DD India News Hour, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. It's available on both Android and iOS. Just scan the QR code on the screen, download the app. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour. Up next is my colleague Mark with the latest.